Hello, dear students. Myself, Mr. Mangesh Bale. I am working as an assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Chawar, District Palghar. So, today we will see the syllabus for Analytical Chemistry paper number 4, both theory as well as practicals. In this semester, you will have total 4 units. The first unit is Introduction to Quality Concepts, Chemical Calculations and Sampling. In this unit, you will have 3 chapters, that is Quality in Analytical Chemistry, Chemical Calculations and Sampling. The first chapter is Analytical Chemistry, Quality in Analytical Chemistry. In that we will learn about the concepts of quality, quality control and quality assurance, importance of quality concepts in industry, and what are the chemical standards and certified reference materials, importance in chemical analysis of quality material, and what are the various grades of laboratory reagents. So this is about the first chapter. Now the second chapter is chemical calculations. In this chapter we will see the interconversion of various units, concentration units such as molarity, normality, formality, molality, that we are going to see in this topic, and percentage composition of the elements in chemical compounds, that calculation also we are going to see in this topic. That means on this topic in the examination they were asking the numerical and word problems. Now the third topic is sampling. This sampling topic you have already learned in previous classes. In this topic we will see what is the purpose, significance and difficulties encountered in sampling, and how to sampling of solid, liquid and gaseous sample material by using various type of methods and apparatus. So this is about the sampling chapter. Now second unit is classical method of analysis, or we can say titrometric analysis. In this unit second you will have two topics, that is redox titrations and complex symmetric titration. In the redox titration we are going to learn construction of the titration curves and calculation of E system in aqueous medium in case of one electron system and multi electron system. And at the end of this topic, theory of redox indicators, criteria for selection of an indicator, uses of diphenylamine and ferroin as a redox indicators. In the examination on this topic they were asking numerical and word problems. Now second chapter is complex symmetric titration. In this topic we are going to see the construction of titration curve, use of EDT as a titrant and its standardization. What are the advantages and limitations of EDT as a titrant? Then types of EDT titrations, what are the metallochromic indicators, its theory with suitable examples and applications. So this is about the unit second. Now third unit is the optical methods. In this optical method unit there are total 3 chapters, and this unit is totally based on the instrumental techniques. In that first topic is atomic spectroscopy. In this topic there will be two subtopics, that is flame emission spectroscopy and atomic absorption spectroscopy. In the flame photometer we are going to see the principle, instrumentation, In the instrumentation, we will see the types of burner, detectors, and the second subtopic is atomic absorption spectroscopy. In this subtopic also we are going to see the principle, its instrumentation, comparison between FES and AAS applications, advantages, and what are the limitations of this atomic spectroscopy. Now the second topic is molecular fluorescence and phosphorescence spectroscopy. In this topic also we are going to see the principle of both the techniques, that means molecular fluorescence spectroscopy and for molecular phosphorescence spectroscopy, its instrumentation, applications, and comparison of fluorimetry and phosphorimetry, and comparison with absorption methods. Now third topic is turbidimetry and nephelometry. These are also the both subtopics. For this instrument we are going to see the principle, its instrumentation, and what are the factors affecting on scattering of radiation, that is concentration, particle size, wavelength, refractive index of the sample solution. And at the end we are going to see the applications of this turbidimetry and nephelometry. So this is about the unit third. Now the unit fourth is methods of separation. In this unit third you have three chapters, that is solvent extraction, high performance liquid chromatography, and high performance thin layer chromatography. In this first topic, solvent extraction, we are going to see the factors affecting on extraction, that is chelation, ion pair formation, and solvation. In this topic we are going to also see the Craggs counter current extraction, solid phase extraction, its principle, process, working, applications, and comparison of solid phase extraction and solvent extraction. The second topic is high performance liquid chromatography. In this we are going to learn the principle, instrumentation, components with their significance, solvent reservoir, degassing system, pumps, what are the different types of pumps, pre-columns, columns, and what are the detectors involved into the HPLC instrument. And at the end we are going to see the applications of high performance liquid chromatography. The third topic is high performance thin layer chromatography. In previous classes we have learned the TLC. In this semester 5 we are going to see the high performance thin layer chromatography instrument, its principle, how to apply sample on the TLC plate, mobile phase, what are the detectors, and what are the detectors we are going to see in the high performance thin layer chromatography. Fluorimetric detector advantages, what are the advantages, disadvantages, application, comparison of TLC and SPTLC. So this is about the unit number 4. Now we are going to see what are the practicals for this semester 5 for paper number 4. The university code for this course is USCHP 13. In this semester we have total 6 practicals. The first experiment is spectrophotometric estimation of fluoride. This is the instrumental experiment. Second experiment is estimation of magnesium content in talcum powder by compleximetry using standardized solution of EDTA. That means we can take any talcum powder and from that talcum powder we are going to estimate the magnesium content. So this is the non-instrumental experiment. Third experiment is determination of COD of water sample. that is chemical oxygen demand of water sample. This is also the non-instrumental practical. Fourth practical is to determine potassium content of a fertilizer by flame photometer by using calibration curve method. This is the instrumental practical. Fifth practical is to determine the amount of persulfate in the given sample solution by back titration with standard Fe-second ammonium sulfate solution. This is also the non-instrumental practical. Last practical is to determine the amount of sulfate in given water sample by turbidimetrically. This is the instrumental practical. That means total 3 is the non-instrumental practical and remaining 3 is the instrumental practicals. Important note for this practical course: in each experiment we are going to calculate the percentage error. Okay, so this is about the practicals. From in the next lecture we are going to see, or we are going to start the actual theory. Thank you.